What I'm going to do now is a demonstration on how to draw this. So in the PowerPoint, I explained to you guys that all of this, the extra fabric, the wood grain, everything, none of that's going to be represented in this drawing, and you're just going to be focusing on those spaces. So the negative spaces, the positive space is the object itself. Now, one thing that can be confusing is when something overlaps, if you're looking at this stool, at the perspective that we're looking at, this area right here, where this leg is, and these two pieces of wood are kind of merging out, this overlaps with this part back here. But you're not going to draw that. You're not going to represent that in your drawing because this is the object itself, all right? So you're composing your chair, stool. It needs to be something with lines in it, okay? I have two different options of chairs. A classic folding chair is also a good one. I'm still going to demonstrate the stool, but so any of this will work for this drawing. Also, some of you guys were confused about paper. All your project paper is going to be on the 12 by 18. So if you run out of that, you either may come by E&MU to get more, let me know, or you can go to Hobby Lobby and get more. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to turn the camera around, and I'm going to kind of organize myself on this drawing. Make sure this camera's not. Sorry. Come on. Okay, I'm going to try to tilt this down so you can see my paper. Okay, so I'm going to kind of look at the stool while I'm doing this, and then what I'll do is I'll show you, I'll hold it overhead and then show you how I'm going about organizing this. Now, first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to start the middle out. So I'm going to start with those, the middle shapes first. This you can also use if you really enjoyed the viewfinder. You can use that as well to organize and use your viewfinder, hold that out. You can hold that against the object and organize yourself in the exact same way. You're just going to be drawing the negative space instead. So the very center space that I see is the white portion of the wall. You also, guys, it's going to be a lot easier if you do this against a plain wall, okay? You may have to, you could put a sheet up, put up now, one thing you want to look at is how the angles are organized. And this is going to make all the difference in the world to show where everything's sitting in your piece. When you start to do this, I'm using a 2H pencil, extremely light pencil. But if you need to draw in a little bit of that stool to organize yourself, that's fine. And then you can end up erasing it. That's fine. So I feel like I'm getting a little large. I'm going to scale this down a little bit. Let me get some of this organized and then I'll show you guys. So this is the kind of the bottom. I'm working towards the middle spaces first. And as I've mentioned before, I don't erase anything until the very end, so I know that these shapes are in their proper place. When you are drawing and you erase, you're not correcting yourself first. So after you correct yourself is when you will erase. It's a much easier way to organize the work. Now, the angle of this chair in the middle, what am I See, I'm a little confused. This goes there, moving that shape, and then this goes there. And I'm just drawing the negative spaces. If you have a chair that's got mostly straight lines, you're really going to be focusing on, it's just going to be a little bit less challenging. Some of you guys might have some pretty interesting chairs at your house. So just pick one that's going to best fit this project. And then this goes here. Now, I'm gonna pick this up real quick and show you overhead. This, let me hold it up this way. This doesn't look like anything yet. Okay, so you can see how I'm organizing the spaces. You can see all that. Okay, starting in the center and then working myself out. Let me get this set back up and I'll keep going. Now, once you have the chair in there, if you run off the page, that's okay. I would rather you make it too big than too small. I'm going to go to the top half. This is kind of at an angle there. And you can kind of see how I'm going to fill out. This is a little bit wider at the bottom, and I'm going to narrow that up. Okay. Guys, while I'm drawing this whole time, I'm closing one eye to just make sure I'm visualizing this correctly. And then this is a little thick up there. So again, I'm not erasing anything right now. My hand is positioned far back on my pencil. I'm making sight lines, my lines, kind of getting those spaces in there first. And the cool part right now is nothing has to be permanent, right? So I'm just, like I said, organizing this drawing, looking at the shapes, making sure that the shapes, the negative shapes, the negative space is in proportion with my stool. Okay, this back leg, the bottom legs is the only part of the leg that you'll see. And then mine's actually going to run off the page, which, like I said, that's okay. This one is farther at the front, and then this one aligns with this one. You can kind of see, and I'll back this up here in a minute. Okay. I love negative space instead of I love rock and roll. Put another drawing on your paper, baby. Didn't know you were gonna get a free concert, huh? Okay, so what you're gonna do is you'll map in. These weird lines are showing up on my paper. You'll map in all those spaces. Okay? Then after that, that's when you go back and look in detail. Really, really look at where things are lining up. You see the bottom, there's my feet to the stool. Glance back at it. And then what I would do, the very last thing, I would check everything, check my negative spaces. And then the last thing you're gonna do, you are more than welcome to choose so at the top half, kind of fill that in real quick. The top half of my chair is running off the page. This would be the other leg on the top, and then this would be the rounded bottom, the seat part. Okay? Now, this is for time purposes. So right here was where I had a correction. this was wrong and this was right. Okay, so I'm not, again, I would need to clean all of this up. Now, the last thing you'll do is you can do a marker, you can do a charcoal pencil, you can do a black color pencil, you can do your darkest, I think it's 4B that I gave you. After that, you're going to color in, shade in, color in the negative space in the background. Okay? So the entire thing will look like that black and white picture that I showed you guys from the PowerPoint. Okay? Find you a good chair. Okay? And that will be your positive, negative drawing.